You know what, Donatas? I feel like I have my new favorite. Actually, not a new favorite. This is my favorite outside of a local derby rivalry inside the EuroLeague, and that is Monaco and Olympiacos. Because every time they play, there's some drama happening. There's a dramatic game, either on the court or something, like a little scuffle, like we saw today. There's history, these teams first time faced in 2022 in the playoffs. That was a crazy series. Then we had that last year. We had them in the Final Four as well.
Yeah,
it's just a nice matchup to see, and it didn't disappoint.
I can't recall a bad game between Monaco and Olympiacos. And we saw EuroLeague promoting some rivalries. And I remember we were watching is this an actual rivalry?
It was like Real Madrid and Fenerbahce or something.
Nah. This is a rivalry.
Yeah, this
is a healthy rivalry that we had. And once again, things got heated.
Yeah.
Between the players, in the end with the officiating, and just in general, another tough physical and high-quality game.
You know how this is a high-quality game that must be attended? Novak Djokovic was in the crowd enjoying the atmosphere and that chant by Olympiacos that I really like. Na, 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 na.
I remember we were listening to this chant in the
Final Four.
Second half of the Final Four.
Yeah.
Maybe even a title game.
Yeah.
It was that crazy.
When they were not playing.
Exactly.
I remember this.
And I remember that I spoke with some EuroLeague people, and they said that they were also, singing that song inside of their head for another week after the Final Four. Just how good it was. I think it's related to Zvezda as well, because Novak was also moving, and I think that Zvezda fans has the same chant, or it even says Zvezda Olympiako or something like that.
Well, anyways, the game was great. High quality teams matching up. It was interesting. We didn't get to see much of the Mirotic-Vezenkov matchup that I was kind of anticipating. Obviously, we missed the first half because that's the way the EuroLeague is scheduled. The first half was on top of the other game was still continuing. We were watching that, then reacting to it. So we didn't see that, but...
and we're recording this one right after the game,
by the way, if you're listening right now.
I managed to watch the first quarter, actually.
Right.
So Mirotic didn't start. And I think Monaco did it on purpose. Because defensively, Mirotic against Vezenkov is historically quite a bad matchup. And historically... Monaco's lineups were working quite good against Sasha Vezenkov, and that's what we saw in the first half. Actually, I cannot actually recall a play or offensive set where Olympiacos scored from the half-court offense before Mirotic checked in. Olympiacos scored either from transition plays, from some chaotic situations after grabbing the offensive rebound, but in a normal half-court offense, they couldn't score. And finally, Monaco displayed their real mentality, the physicality of the Final Four. Because before it was a typical October Monaco, walking in the park, just chilling, just making some shots, not really being focused on some games, not consistent at all. So
I mean, as a team, but some players in this game showed
before this game.
You're talking about before the game.
But they needed this opponent. They needed this rivalry to get them sparked.
Especially Mike James, he was already, not bad in his season so far. But this game, it's his season high. And if I'm not mistaken, 25, let me just double check.
23 points.
23 points and 10 assists. So the best game of the season by far. The shooting also very efficient from the field and the 3-point line and the free throw line. Essentially one of the best games from him, but probably the hero of the game must be talked about in the first place. A guy who only rested less than 5 minutes in this game because he's so valuable on the defensive end. And today he actually broke his career high with 27 points. Alpha Diallo hitting 3 of 4 from 3, 8 from 9 from the 2-pointers, and basically a super efficient game. Obviously added his 2 steals as you would expect from Alpha and 3 assists. That's an incredible game from him.
Alpha Diallo is a wild man.
I feel like he's underrated, to be honest, by some of these, by people who look at forwards. I think Alpha Diallo must be in the sort of the top of the list.
I think this might be his all EuroLeague year finally. And I think that he was already quite rated, especially after the last season. But one thing stuck to my mind. I just had a week ago, there is this Alicante Licentum hub where we are also involved. And I hosted a round table with the sports directors of Lietkabelis, Strasbourg, and Cedevita Olympia. Some great names like Cečiu Mulero, Nicola Librani, very, very well respected sports directors, Lukas Grabauskas as well. And I asked those guys, if we start this teams from scratch, NBA Europe, all players available, who's your number one pick? Nicola Librani picked Alpha Diallo, and I was shocked.
Wow.
Like, why Alpha Diallo? Because he said he's so underrated and he's so great and he sets the tone mentally because he's all-around guy. Offensively, yeah, he had a career high. I didn't know that. And offensively, he was awesome. Beating Vezenkov one-on-one from the perimeter, posting up, dishing out some great assists on the drive, making threes. He was amazing. But defensively, he was also a dog. Because when you look at Evan Fournier's stat line, 2 points in 22 minutes, 0 from 6 shooting from the three-point line. It's not like Alpha Diallo was always on him, but especially in the opening minutes of the game, he was just stuck to him, basically. Okay. And Evan Fournier couldn't breathe. So it was Alpha Diallo's all-around masterclass. Huge game by Alpha.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, it's crazy that Olympiacos actually had a chance in this game to come back because they were down by 10 points with like 3 minutes left to go. Then Tyler Dorsey just took over. He actually scored 14 points in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Total. So that's a lot of points in one quarter, obviously. And he was just cooking. He was literally carrying the whole Olympiacos' offense on his back, playing from the mid-range, getting inside. The three-pointers weren't falling, but to be honest, the biggest problem was that it wasn't just not falling for him, but for the whole team. Total percentage, 18.2% for Olympiacos. I don't think you can expect winning a home game against a team that's so talented as Monaco, with only making 4 three-pointers in the whole game. That's a really terrible percentage. They were building a brick house, I guess. And it was just about Tyler Dorsey heroics at the end. The first half was like Milutinov. Second half, it was definitely about Dorsey's stuff. But yeah, the end, I mean, they got into like a 3-point deficit within the last minute. There was this one opportunity for them to tie the game with one shot by Tyson Ward. He missed that wide open 3-pointer. Sasha Vezenkov passed it away.
If you're Vezenkov, are you passing the ball to Ward?
I mean, if you're Vezenkov, you remember that you are the only guy who made more than 1 3 in this game. He made 2 of 2. I think as a leader, you're supposed to take that shot. And, you know, I understand the mentality, the philosophy of Olympiacos. Share the ball, get the best shot available. But sometimes that's what you're missing is that, you know, killer instinct. And I'm just going to shoot it because, you know, I don't know, like Tyson Ward before that shot was also 0 from 2. From the 3-point line.
He was shooting 40% this season, but last season he was shooting 33%. So number-wise, and just eye test says that Sasha should have taken that shot, but obviously they didn't lose the game because of that. Yeah. Just as not because of this violation when Tyler Dorsey was shooting the free throw. Yeah. It's actually, I've discussed it with Todd Warnick, our referee expert. Initially, he said that, that was a bad call. You know, as long as the ball hits the rim, even off the board, it's a good free throw attempt. But then when he rewatched the play, he said it's actually a tough call. Because even when we were watching the replay, it's not 100% clear that it touched the rim. You could say it touched, but officiating on the go, it's a tough one. And even if that was a violation, which probably was, Alpha Diallo got the defensive rebound.
Yeah, that's my main point. Even if that wasn't if it wasn't called that, you know, the ball goes to Monaco, they still got the rebound. So even if, you know, it wouldn't have changed much. It's like you said, not the moment they lost the game. They lost the game not shooting the ball well. Of course, they need some time for Evan Fournier to get back in rhythm. He just got back after the injury. It was his second game in the EuroLeague for Olympiacos. 0 of 6, like you said. said, they just need some time. They obviously need their guys to come back. We talked about their guard problems, and what they need the most is Keenan Evans. So, and in any case, they put up a big fight in this game. They let Monaco score 8 points more than what they were averaging. So defensively is probably where you need to look at.
Monaco's percentages were just crazy. 64 from 2, 42 from the 3-point line, and they made only 8 turnovers. It's actually a big thing to be one shot away from a tie when you're facing such a good Monaco team all around.
Yep.
And just to add about Dorsey, I think the guy is having a comeback season. I mean, even before this game, he was averaging 17. Oh, now we have all these numbers. So he's averaging 18 points per game. And I think it's super hard to come back in a same team. Because last season, it felt like it's the last season of Dorsey in Olympiacos. Nobody would have been surprised. Now he's back. All these guys are injured, and he's performing. And I think it's easier to have this comeback season in a different team, in a different environment, because you could say the coach doesn't trust you anymore. You lost all the confidence, and it's tough to recover in the same, not toxic environment, but tough environment with so many guards around. But Tyler Dorsey is just cooking, and he's providing this scoring when Olympiacos needed that much in the beginning of the season.
And the other revival story is probably Nikola Milutinov, who also has a completely different role from last season. At the moment, he's averaging 12 and a half points and like 7 rebounds and basically 21 PIR, which is a lot. This game, he was also, like I said, crucial in the beginning because he was getting a lot of looks from the inside. He was dominating there. So, and then, of course, if Dante Hall didn't just start the fourth quarter in the crazy way he did with like 6 points in a row, I feel like he would have played a bit more in this game. But anyways, 2 guys in this team that completely changed their career trajectory in Olympiacos specifically. And that's it. I guess this game, that's the wrap up. Anything else we could add? Maybe you have some suggestions about what else to do to make your EuroLeague watching experience better, or
fantasy is a thing.
And
we have a great offer for fantasy players or those who are interested in joining fantasy. And usually when you miss the start of the season, it's too late. On BasketNews Fantasy, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Because we have this special November play where you can create your team from scratch, and you're participating in this November window starting from November 5th. And you can win 300 euros if you build the best team, if you score the most points in our fantasy game. You have to be a BN Plus member, so make sure to subscribe on basketnews.com/plus.
Yep.
If you're active player, just create another new team. You can actually participate in this November window with your current team, but let's say our fantasy experts advise to create a new one for that.